Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. The Brain Caltech talent team is here again with another important topic, which is the talk of the town today. Most of the organizations are implementing cloud migration, and in their journey of moving the applications from on-prem to the technical tenant on cloud, they are experiencing severe performance bottlenecks. And that is mainly because of the wrong configurations, wrong service plans getting used on cloud. Here I will explain some of the important things and how to configure autoscaling when you move your applications from on-prem to cloud. Most importantly, what is happening today is the right strategy is not getting thought of very clearly. What we need to understand, has the application workload been uh, done on-prem? Is the data available to the cloud team when they are moving from on-prem to cloud? Do we know the use patterns of the applications and their peak times? Do we need fast response or tight resource usage? Based upon the above analysis, we need to think properly and select the appropriate autoscaling on cloud. Just thinking about horizontal autoscaling or vertical autoscaling without the knowledge of the above points, uh, it is meaningless to implement autoscaling. So we have to think through carefully whether our application, our usage pattern, our load needs horizontal autoscaling or vertical autoscaling or a combination of the two, which is called hybrid autoscaling. If not done correctly, there'll be severe performance bottlenecks, application crashes, and failures at the time when the application is needed the most. Mostly the HPA or horizontal autoscaling, VPA, vertical pod autoscaling is demonstrated here, okay, with a small diagram. Now, horizontal autoscaling is mostly multiplying your pods, as and when the traffic load increases or when you need similar environments for scaling the performance or the better usage of your application. On the other hand, the vertical pod scaling is needed when there is not only the traffic but the resources use is in constraint, whether the CPU or the memory is scaling out, okay, or there is a severe demand for more CPU, more memory because of heavy IO operations or various things getting done. So that is why, okay, we need to think carefully whether we need horizontal pod autoscaling or vertical pod autoscaling. Now, once we know what is needed, it is easier for us to implement and then get the performance uh, to an optimum level for your applications. I will demonstrate that how to do this auto scaling settings in cloud, so that your applications gets the best performance, the best usage, and the best customer satisfaction. That is why we are moving our application from on-prem to uh, cloud, so that we have better scalability, we have better uptime, we have better performance rather than degrading on any of those. Now, once you are into your Azure portal, go to monitoring services and then select auto scaling. Select your service plan, make sure that you have the right service plan, and then there you can choose auto scaling, which can be either manual or custom way of automating. Now I will say that go with custom auto scale, which will have a lot of inbuilt automations built to that rather than doing things on manual basis. So once you have selected, custom auto scale, there are various settings that you need to select, and then I'll walk you through the entire process. Here you can see I've selected custom auto scale, and within custom auto scale, I want to do it based on metrics rather than other parameters. And then you select the option, and then what you have to do is look at what is the metrics, at what uh, settings do you want to auto scale. So set your CPU usage, memory usage, the time aggregations accordingly, so that your application can scale in, scale out, as and when needed. All those parameters have to be set correctly. The operators or the benchmarking has to be done properly based on your load and at what point you want to auto scale. And also there is one more setting at the bottom. You can see cooldown period. Once the auto scale has been triggered, if you don't set up the cooldown time period properly, the auto scale will not fire again, even though your application is getting constrained again. So it's very important to choose that. Moreover, okay, between scale out and scale in, there has to be enough buffer built so that when the application needs scaling, it can scale out, and when there is no need, then it can scale down. If there is not enough buffer built, then the scale out and scale in will not function properly. And all these things can be set and then checked within Azure itself using the loader uh, IO, so that you can check whether your pod count is getting increased or not when there's a need for scaling up. So it is very important to set up those settings, and also all it does is basically gives you a history whether the application has performed well or not. So very important things: your CPU scale out settings, your memory scale out settings, your cooldown period between two scale outs, then the buffer time between the scale out and scale in. All these things need to be set properly, then only you will get the best performance from your application. Otherwise your applications will perform even worse than what was there on-prem. Now the whole point of moving from on-prem to the technical tenant, whether it is Azure, GCP, OCP, or any other cloud, is to have better scalability, better performance, better security. But if those things are not met, then uh, you'll start losing your client base. The customers will end up being unhappy. So that is why setting up auto scaling in the right manner is very important. If the auto scaling is not configured properly, then these are the important problems that you will see in your application. The performance of the application will be bad. That will lead to more cost. Uh, there'll be cost inefficiency. There'll be infrastructure chaos because the service plan, the memory, the CPU, the real estate of your application will not function properly. There'll be poor user experience because of the applications not performing well, crashing frequently when moved to cloud. Okay, all of these will lead to an operational overhead, which will scale up as you progress further down the line on your cloud journey. So my suggestion would be to understand what is needed for your application, whether it is vertical, horizontal, or hybrid auto scaling, and then select it, build it, and then deploy your applications. For any further questions on cloud autoscaling, please get in touch with Brain Caltech team on the email ID provided here, and we'll be there to help you. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so that you are kept always up to date with any further videos like this. Thank you.